What is up, Devy Maniacs? Welcome back to the YouTube channel here at the Devy Royale. And we are just going to be continuing our series here on Devy in 5. So for 5 minutes around there, we're going to be talking about guys that have transferred that you guys can look forward to. We did our first episode, or I did my first episode on Cameron Ward, the quarterback that's going to Washington State. So go check that out on the channel if you've missed it. But today we're going to talk about a big boy, and everybody knows this guy probably. That's Jahmyr Gibbs. And he transferred from Georgia Tech over to Alabama. And it's one of the biggest kind of transfer portal news that we saw early on in the transfer portal season, now that we've seen this giant influx of transfers going on. But this is a huge deal here. And with Gibbs, what we saw last year, you know, he's 5'11", 200 pounds, so he's got the size that you'd like to see. Even at that 200-pound mark, he's going to be fine there. 143 attempts last year, 746 yards, 4 touchdowns. But what makes him so special is his receiving ability. 36 receptions, 470 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He also has return ability. He's going to be used there. We see Alabama over and over with Waddle, Jamison, all these guys, JoJo Earl. They use these athletes in that return role. So I expect Gibbs to be back there, especially for kickoff return. So in C2C formats, he's going to be putting up points, and especially what he did last year. He averaged 5.2 yards per carry. He had 13.3 yards per reception with Georgia Tech. That's incredible. 13.3 yards per reception. He can go. We're going to break that down and show you. We're going to watch some film here in a second. But really, what do you see with Gibbs? Vision. Excellent vision, great pass catching ability, speed, man, and versatility. Like, he is one of the most versatile backs in this class. He has the speed, he's the pass catching, and there are some guys out there that realistically look at Gibbs as being the 1A to Bijan Robinson. Like, hey, I in PPR formats, I don't mind it. And you know what? He's going to get the volume this year for Alabama. And let's just take a look. Let's kind of go through what we see with Gibbs. And first and foremost, he hits the holes quick. He can run in between the tackles. He's not a scat back at all, and you're going to notice that about him. And you'll notice it here. The vision, I think, sets it apart. And, again, he can break away as well. So I like showing different type of plays here, and you'll see the all-purpose yards down there. He's just an all-purpose back, and he has that ability to be that all-purpose guy. They ran a lot of zone reads with him, and he can make the first guy miss. You'll see it here. He has the power there for the stiff arm. It's one of my favorite runs by him. And he's just quick, and he's got that attitude too. And had Georgia Tech used him better, been a better team, where we'd be talking about Gibbs a lot more. I do think that the gap between him and Bijan is a lot smaller than some people would think. But this right here is what's going to set him apart. His PPR performances and pass catching. I mean, he's there. You'll see it here too, his returning ability. He has that. He has that explosiveness. I expect to see him do that for Alabama. And he breaks them. He breaks a lot. So I expect Alabama to use him a lot of different ways. He's going to a perfect situation there. Even in that Georgia Tech offense where they knew he was pretty much the only weapon, he's able to do this. And you'll see this with his pass catching ability, his look at him in open space. I mean, he's just a lot of fun there. Now, as you watch the highlights, when we talk about like the depth chart at Alabama, they've had a ton of injuries in that backfield. Robinson Jr. is obviously leaving for going to the NFL. You're going to be seeing, we know Jace McClellan is there, but again, coming off an injury. A lot of those guys are coming off of injuries in that backfield. Even Kamar Wheaton, even, younger guys that are coming in there. And I like some of their younger guys coming in, the recruits that they have. Again, Gibbs is that guy. I think Gibbs steps in immediately and becomes the starter. And I think you're going to see the volume. And I think that when you're looking at what Gibbs can do, if he has that good of a year, just look at this breakaway. That is just phenomenal right there, what he can do there. And if he could come in there and be the lead back in Alabama with what they've seen with Najee Harris and those other guys, we could realistically see NFL teams falling in love with him and taking him before Bijan. I mean, there's some possibilities here, okay? Now, as far as where you're going to draft him, I mean, right now in C2C and Devy, he's going the first round. I will say this: he went as the third pick in a mock I'm doing right now. It went Bijan, Travion, and Jahmyr Gibbs. I've actually seen him go ahead of Travion in a couple mocks that I've done this year, but essentially he's going top 3 back, and I think that's where he should be going if you're looking at based on startups and where you're at. But I can see the volume there. And Devy, again, top 3 guy. I'm a running back class. He is in that second tier. He could very realistically be in that first tier with Bijan. And you're going to like what you see from him. I think he's going to explode this season. Alabama got a great one. If Alabama doesn't win the national title next year, I will be shocked based on their weapons. I think they're going to reload at the wide receiver position as well. Look for transfers. I know Jermaine Burton's name been thrown out there, a couple guys. So I just wanted to give you guys a little insight of Jahmyr, show some highlights for him. We know kind of who he is, but now I think the next test for him is, will he be able to jump Bijan? Can he get into that running back one category? And I don't think it's out of the question for him. And I think you're taking him in the top 5. That would be fine with me. I still would take Bryce ahead of him in terms of like where I'm at in my C2C drafts. But you can't go wrong with a guy like Gibbs. So there's Jahmyr Gibbs. Please subscribe to the channel, but also in the comments below, tell us what you think about Gibbs. But in the description is our podcast. We've been hitting some great numbers. We really appreciate you guys. If you guys could subscribe to that podcast, give it a listen, give it a review. Those all help. We appreciate you guys. So until next time, I'll see you guys later.